Good morning, everyone. We have started a bit early. Just before we switch to the comment, the Dream Hangars comment, for anyone who is purchasing anything from the web shop, I do have a creator code, Adrian Chong, and I believe we get like 5% that goes towards supporting the channel so that I can continue to do War Robots content for you guys, whether it be in the form of video, or I should say videos, live streams, guides, giveaways, Dream Hangars, baby account, any of those series that you guys enjoy. It goes towards supporting it, and thank you. Okay, so we're going to switch on over to this comment here. Let me just go through the chat. Hi Saja, hi Hamster, Rico, let me just see, Muga, Thomas, good morning guys. So I have a comment from Watch Your Six, and let's see what they say here. So started playing a couple of months back as a free-to-play player, currently Master 1, and they would like to see how this hangar performs in Champion. So a couple of things. There's not really that much difference between Master and Champion. For the most part, you will see very similar like metabots. The only difference maybe might be in like the levels, as far as, you know, the players that you encounter. So that's really the only difference. So we have, let's see, we're going to be running the Ducks, the Nuo, the Ocho, Samjok, Bagliore. We've got the Mauler with the Frederick, and there's something else that Watch mentioned to me. So the Bagliore, apparently they're struggling with, so we're going to take a look at that. They also mentioned that I could swap out the Bagliore for the Pathfinder. Okay, so we're going to be taking a closer look at this hangar. Let me just switch to that screen. So for the ones who aren't familiar with what Dream Hangars is, basically viewers submit their Dream Hangar. It could be something you are building towards. Could be a theme, you know, like maybe you have spider bots or something. Like it could be a theme as well. And then what I do is I rebuild that hangar using fully maxed out equipment. So this account does not belong to me, just FYI. It belongs to Pixonic, and I use this to create guides and, you know, showcase the new content, or in this case, you know, just helping out players. Oftentimes players get this mixed up. They think if someone has a meta bot or if it's maxed out, they're just going to win. Unfortunately, this is not how the game is at the top. You might think it is, but there's a reason why some players, you know, why they're just a lot stronger. It's because they build their bots right. You know, I'm trying to think of like how to describe this. So I could have a Dux. If this was a meta, like, you know, meta bot, just because I have it and it's maxed out doesn't mean I'm going to do well, because there's a lot of components to it that if you get wrong, your Dux can go down really quick. So for example, if I use the wrong specialization track, the wrong drone, wrong pilot, the wrong pilot skills, usually if you're off by a lot, then your build will just crumble. In other words, your MK3 will seem like an MK1, simply put. Okay, so my goal here is going to be to basically run this hangar for a couple of games once we go through, and I'm going to see if I can spot any weaknesses. Okay, I already see a couple right now, but without running any games. I try to spot the weaknesses, and then I recommend ways to kind of address or fix it, just so that you aren't more vulnerable when it comes to things like balance changes or even like when you're playing. So that's the whole purpose of this, and you know, I know there's going to be other players running similar bots, so hopefully it will be able to help you as well. Let me just say hi to actually a few more viewers here. So I tagged Daniel, Randomizer, Vera, Excellent. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that viewer's name. Hello all from Thailand. Next spot. Wait, who's next spot? Is that... Did you change your name? The weakness is too... Well, that's one of the weaknesses. We'll get to that in a second. I'll make a couple of comments. Yeah, usually what I do is... So, when I analyze a hangar, I look to see how much range, how many of like one particular weapon they have. For example, in this case, we do see a lot of crumble weapons, which I'll comment on. And then I look at like how many tanks. Because, you know, it's not just about having like meta bots. Like, you got to know how to balance your hangar, because when you're in a game... you know, things will change. You know, like maybe the enemy runs heavy brawlers and they're very aggressive. If you don't have that in your hangar, you're going to be toast. Okay, so we're going to... Anyways, we'll look at that later on. Let's just get to the ducks here. So we do have the prime arm with the Gangeal. This is what I'm running. Damage dealer, track, nuclear amp, overdrive. We have the Seeker drone. We have the Willow pilot. Okay, so a couple of skills here. Then we have the Nuo with Dragoon and Hussar. Also the damage track. We have the Oppo. We have the Walter Trammell pilot. Okay, so we have the Ocho as well with the Mog 1 and the Shredders. This one I'm running here. We'll see actually how the games go. Sometimes I do, if I find I'm getting locked down a lot, then I will switch to this. But the other thing too is when I switch... This is what I mean, like you have to understand how to like build your bot. Sometimes when I switch like this, then it will affect what drone I use. So we like, for example, now we have a Shy, so I might be able to get away with that. But if I find that my Archer is dying too fast, then I will start to change things like the specialization track or the drone. This pilot is the best pilot for the Archer, so I highly recommend this one. Also, one more thing to also mention to the players that run the Ocho, you always want to make sure that you have this skill here. In fact, this would be my #1 skill that I would get. So if you have like, if you're choosing like 3 different skills or whatever, that would be the first one. Because that allows me to use my ability twice. So you use your ability first, and then when your health drops down to 50%, you can just keep spamming that ability so that you go back into ability mode. That allows you to get more damage in before you go down. So really important, that skill. We have the Samjok with the Kieran and the Hedget. So Saboteur with Robot Accelerator, the Overdrive. We have the Kestrel here, which is interesting because this doesn't exactly have stealth. It's a different kind, it's like phase shift. We're running Eddie Null, which I do believe works with these weapons. I'm going to comment on that in a bit here. Let me just go through this hangar. Bagliore with Kieran's. So if you guys are probably wondering why is he using so many crumble weapons, it's probably to counter the Tess. So in case you don't know this, I did put a video out like a couple, actually more than a month ago. Maybe 2 months now, right? I don't know how long it was. How to counter the Teth. These weapons, so you got Mog 1s here, but also Gangeal. Okay, so this one here, the Mog 1s, or in this case the Kierans, what they do is they prevent the Teth from healing. So the more shots you're able to land on the Teth, the longer it's going to be for them to heal. So if they can't heal, the chances of you killing them like goes up a lot. Okay, so like they can spam unstable conduit all they want. Their health is not going to go up because you're preventing them from healing. That's why more players are running these weapons. But I have a couple of things to say about that. Let me just look at... so we have a Mauler here with Evora and Void. Okay, so we got Titan Repair Amp. I used to run the Self-Fix, and I might still run it, depending on how things go. The only thing is, so if you see like a lot of Void weapons and like Suppression and Lockdown, you know, you kind of want to run the anti-control. So Splash like Avalanche. There is another build actually that we could try, but that's like a newer weapon. And also Mothership. They're running the Frederick, so that's what I have on my Frederick. Okay, now a couple of comments. Usually when I analyze a hangar, I look to see how much range they have. So they only have one range. Well, I guess this counts as range, but this is also more, I don't want to say brawler, but you do use it at close range most times. So let's just say one range. They have one range, which is good. You need brawlers. Now, looking at this in terms of which bots are like fragile, you know, basically bots that can go down very quickly, even when it's maxed out. These three. Okay, so that has me a little bit concerned, because if I'm in a game and I'm playing against very aggressive players that have like a lot of tanks, Teths specifically, I'm probably going to struggle because I don't have tanks myself. I mean, these two are kind of tanky, but I think they'll probably lose against a Teth. Okay, so that is one concern I have. The other concern that I have is that Watch has actually upgraded, or they're starting to upgrade a lot of crumble weapons. And I always tell players, you got to be very careful doing that. So especially in this game, when they do rebalance, or there's balance changes a lot. Okay, so we've got like Ganjo on this one. We've got Mog ones on this one. We have Kirans on this one, and we've got 4 more Kirans on this one. So basically we have 1, 2, 3, 4 bots with very similar weapons. Now, that is very risky, because if Pixonic were to nerf these weapons, usually they nerf them as a, like, you know, a family or a group. That means your Dux is going to be weak, your Archer is going to be weak, your Samjok and your Bagliore. You'll have to change your weapons. So what I would do, I mean, these aren't too bad, right? Because you're not running the full setup. But I would still be very careful, like especially with the heavy weapons. So for example, you got 2 here and then you have 4 more. That's a big investment, especially if they get nerfed, because that's like 2 of your setups here that are in trouble. So what I would do is I would actually consider maybe swapping out these weapons for something else. I've even tried, not saying that you would have it, but I've even tried the Shent. So you could try that. Avalanche would be another one. Someone mentioned in the chat that I was gonna revert to Avalanche. Avalanche is good because you have mid-range, but you can also use it to brawl with. So we might swap to that. Because the thing is, I don't want to say like Dragoons, right? Because if I say Dragoons, we already have those weapons on this thing. So I'm trying to break up having it on multiple bots. So Avalanche or even Shent could work on here. I'm trying to think like what else you could do, because another option is to run Pathfinder. Okay, so Pathfinder is actually really good right now because we have things like Atlas. You can use it, and even Sword Unit, you can use it to break shields. So that might be another option too. I'm just trying to figure out what kind of problems you're going to run into. Yeah, I think if a player got into my spawn, I might possibly run into issues, just because we have like 3 fragile bots. Brissant. I actually don't like Brissants because they fire really slow and they just don't do enough damage. I think Avalanche is a lot stronger than Brissant. But Avalanche also, you might run into issues because they may also nerf it. It's pretty strong right now. Punch. Hi Jay. Hi Mailman. Hey Alchemist. Brandon. I see. I'm just going through the chat here. Sorry, I didn't see you guys. I was busy focused on the hangar. So yeah, what we're gonna do now, we're gonna run a couple of games, and then I'm gonna evaluate this hangar where where we can strengthen and maybe change some of the builds to optimize it. Ice Rocket's actually got a nerf, so I don't know if I would lean more towards that. You have Pathfinder with 2 Hussars. Yeah, so the reason why I'm kind of hesitant to put Pathfinder in is because if you put Pathfinder in, then you probably want to get rid of the Nuo. If you have like a Raptor, that might be a really good option too, because a Raptor would throw in more, like you would have more tanks. So that could potentially be something that you want to consider. Vipers have that long reload, which I don't like. I think instead of going Vipers, if you're gonna do that, go with Dragoons. But then again, you have to kind of keep in mind you've got a Nuo in there. You don't want to run too much range because you're gonna run into problems. Like, okay, so if I ran too much range, look what map we got. You know what I mean? So you got to be careful of that too. I guess I'll start with this. Uh-oh. Oh, we got a lot of trouble here. I don't know if I'm low enough to hold this beacon down. Oh shoot, he's help. I think I'm holding the beacon, I'm not sure. Sometimes if you're low enough, you can hold it. No, I wasn't. Yeah, I'm gonna get killed. Okay, so I started with my range first because... I knew I was gonna be forced to engage close range. Okay, we're gonna move up here. Oh, shoot. Ugh! You know what? I may want to consider running a phase shift on that thing. Let's just push them back. Ugh! Oh! Still not charged. Okay, you know what? Let's see if we can... Gonna have to go this way. I'm hitting something, but these guys are aggressive. We need to get other beacons here so we can spawn elsewhere. Oh, shoot. So we can go this way. We have no beacons. Oh, wait. That's not good. He's probably gonna end up killing me. Ah, I tried to see if I could time it. Need to empty my clip here. Smooth this side. Ooh. I'm just using my dark light so that my teammate can get it, but I think this game's over. Ugh. Ah. I have to get used to playing this hangar. It's very different. What? Storage? Hi, Moon. The Samjok does decent damage. I mean, I could have run around the corner, but I wanted to see if I could maybe kill that that ultimate. Because the thing with the Samjok, it actually applies the crumble too, which is, again, we were going back to using too many crumble weapons. Talons on the Bagliore, we can try it. Actually, you know, there is a build that I did try that actually killed the ultimate Lancelot. It's the Cestus. We could try that too. Just want to see. Ooh. I'm gonna die here. Maybe we can get some of these guys. Ugh. That guy's gonna kill me. Ah! I just realized I'm running the Oppo drone on that thing. Yeah, I don't actually like running that drone on there. For that very reason, it's very fragile on the Nuo. Actually, I just had I had crumble on my. Realized afterwards I was still under the effect of crumble. I didn't even heal. Okay, we're gonna push this side. This was actually one of the builds I recommended for the Ocho. Wait, that didn't kill him? Well, we know that Ocho works. Something else here? Let's see, I'm blinded. He's gonna spawn in here at the Titan. Ooh, lag. I'm just trying to hold this beacon down if I can get it. Thing is, I'm getting blasted by those guys. Guys, we gotta get rid of him. I think that's a Titan, this guy here. Thing with the Mauler, you always gotta save your dashes. Just trying to help my teammate in center, that's why I use a dark light. Honestly, I think I prefer just running full Sonic on here. The Void is kind of messing me up. I don't want to use my dash if I can avoid. Yep. Okay, there we go. Ah! I should have dashed. Okay, let's see if we can try to get this to work here. No! Ah! So much for that. Ah. Well, good news is they were hanging back. That's the thing when you hang back and you try to do just damage. You give up your beacons and the game ends. Then at the end of the day, what actually happened in that game? Well, the only thing that you have to show for it is that you lost. I think the ultimate Griffin wasted too much time jumping around. They should have pushed. So yeah, I already know what I'm gonna do with the Nuo because this is very fragile. I always said actually with this Nuo you never want to run this drone. A lot say that it's better because you have the shield, but the shield means nothing when your opponent's doing so much damage to you. Like that shield's just gonna evaporate. That's why it's so squishy. Avalanche. I'm kind of leaning more towards Avalanche right now, just so that I have something. Just so that I have something to brawl with. This guy's gonna go straight. I can't break through his shield. I actually thought that the Raptor was going to push. That's why I linked to him. Wait, that guy got sent. Ooh. We need help. We need help over here. This Loki. I might have to link to... Oh, wait. Hold on. Just link to him. He may drop... No, he didn't. He didn't. I thought he was going to drop in over there. Okay, I got to be careful doing this because, you know, I don't know if they still have that glitch with the Nuo where sometimes it just drops for no reason. Always makes me nervous. Oh, that guy took a lot of damage. These guys need they need some help here. Get onto the beacon, guys. Onto that beacon. Whoosh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, uh-oh. That guy needs help, quick. There we go. I should have actually waited. I realize now that I had my mothership charged here. Ah! We will need to defend this. Quick! Okay, he's going... That guy's gonna get eaten up alive there. Let's just do that. Come on. Ooh. Man, I'm taking on so much damage here. I can't dash. No. You know what's really messing me up is a void. I think I'm gonna swap that weapon because my timings are all off. Man, how'd that guy survive? Ooh. I think those arm weapons are also messing me up too. Ooh. Get that crumble weapon on him. Ooh. Yeah, I'm dead. I can't move. Just goes to show you can have max level stuff, you'll still get spawn rated. But the thing is also, like, this hangar is not optimized. That's why we're gonna go in and we're gonna try to improve. Well, that's the hangar. 4 thermite is a bad build. That might be something you use in Gold League. Doesn't work in Champion League. The shield. Yeah, I couldn't get to that guy's shield. You're talking about the Shenlo, right? Hi, Cactus. Okay, we'll run another game. Let's do Domination, see how it does in Domination. But I already know where the weaknesses are. I can see it right now. It just confirms. You know, I already had my... I already knew where it was going to go before I started playing it. Playing this hangar, but I know where I'm gonna... what I'm going to change. Lots of bugs. Yeah, the Aegis shield bug is really bad because sometimes, like, you know you can kill that player, but their shield doesn't drop. I don't quite like the arm weapons on that Dux either. Not really a fan of it. Oh boy. Wait, where's my other teammates? What do they have? We've got a Kaji here. He's actually, I want to link to him, but he's already gone. Where is he? Okay, we're dealing with the ultimate landslide here in front of us. So far, this Ocho is holding up pretty well. I will make one change actually to probably the drone. They have Kaji there too. There he goes. I might have died, but that was totally worth it. We took out an ultimate. Totally worth it. Oh! Wait, what the? There was a guy there. Can I teleport back? Is he here? Ah, shoot! Shouldn't have done that. I tried to see if I could catch him off guard. The guy had his mines there. He just got arm weapon. You know what? I've never really liked... So the arm weapon I know works on the sword unit, but I tried it on the Raven, and the Hussar is just a lot better, in my opinion. I think I know what I'm gonna do to this one here too. Ah. What happened? Oh, they have this guy. He's gonna be jumping here soon. My team needs to get into their Titans. Did decent damage there, but I'm gonna be in trouble here. I don't know if I have a dash. Okay, so this guy's hitting... Wait, what is that? That's a Titan. He moved pretty quick. We need someone with a Pathfinder. Bust through those, the Atlas shield. Yeah, they all have their Titans out. We should all have our Titans out now too. So this guy, actually this guy I should watch on my right. Because he's valuable. Have a sword unit there. Wait, what is this guy in? That's got to be a Titan, I think. On the other side. There we go, problem solved. I think that's gonna be game. They don't have any beacons. Let's just go this side. Well, that Atlas, I think he was jumping away because he saw how much damage I did to him. We kind of shot him through his shield. Well, not through his shield, but where he wasn't protected. The Sonic, yeah. But I'm saying that the void that we have on there is actually messing me up because of my timings. You know, sometimes you will find that when you aren't running like the full setup, it can mess with your timings. So what we're gonna do right now, let me just show you what the original Dream Hangar was, which is basically what you see here. I haven't optimized anything. Okay, so this is the comment from Watch Your 6. So we had the Dux, the Nuo, the Ocho, Samjok, Bagliore, Mauler with the Frederick. They also mentioned that they do have a Pathfinder. So I could swap out the Bagliore. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to try to optimize this a little bit and see if we can try to get better results. Hi game. Hi Lucas. Okay, we'll keep that. Yeah, I found that the void was actually messing me up with my timings because like, I mean, you're firing it, which I mean, like, I guess if you had no other weapon, then it would work. Like, I would rather use that than maybe, I don't know, Mahavajra. This one was kind of messing me up. Okay, so I'm not sure if I would use that drone. Let's use, I mean, we could use Kestrel. We could use, wait, what do we have Kestrel on? We have Kestrel on something else here. We have it on this one. Yeah, you know what? Let's try. It actually makes more sense on here because you do have the stealth. You got that pilot. This pilot gives you stealth, so Kestrel will work with that. I just find that the firing of these weapons is kind of, I don't know. It's not something that I would use. Doesn't mean it doesn't work for you though. I'm actually going to go for the, I'll tell you why I'm going to use the atomizer. Because they actually started buffing the atomizer. So there's a pretty good chance they may buff it again. So we're going to try that. That's okay. This one I'm going to change the drone. It's too fragile. So what I usually do with the Nuo is I usually run the Shy on here. Okay, so the Shy will help a little bit. Everything else I think is fine. This one is... Let me just try something here. See if it makes any difference. If you want to strengthen this, I know the Showdown actually seems to work better now. But it also depends on what you run into. Like if you run into players with a lot of like crumble weapons, you might still go down fast. Just simply because you can't heal. Let's just try. You know what? With this one, I could even see Glaciers could work. I know this may not make sense to you guys, but if you freeze a player up, your turret will do more damage to them because they're in that frozen state. We could keep. Wait, what about punches? Trying to think of a weapon that has pretty good burst damage here. You know what? Let's try. I'm just gonna try Glaciers. I want to see how they do now. I mean, it might not be too bad. We can leave the hedge on here. So generally, when it comes to bots and their pilots, I prefer to go with the pilot for the bot rather than like the Eddie Knoll, because the thing, if you upgrade the Eddie Knoll pilot, you can only use shotgun weapons for it, like what I had. So let's. I'm just trying to shift a little bit away from the crumble. I mean, I know crumble's really important. But having too much is also not good either, because if that gets nerfed, you've just affected like your whole hangar. Well, we could try with this one, which is what it's funny because I actually ran this. Let's try. I mean, you could use Avalanche, but let's just say that Avalanche were to get nerfed. Let's see if we can try assess this. 2 Kirin punches. I actually had some success with this when I was streaming for members like 2 weeks ago. I think it was about 2 weeks ago. We were trying this out and it was kind of funny because I smoked a ultimate Lancelot. Like his health just dropped and I was like, wait, what? And then I thought afterwards maybe it was because it's just kind of, I actually thought maybe he had a low level one, but when I checked, he was maxed, like fully maxed to the gills. I was like, wait, maybe there's something behind this that we should probably be taking note of. Oh wait, I'm trying to find. Actually, wait, how many showdowns do we have? Let me just double check here. Okay, that's not too bad. I don't want to make it where we have like three or more bots with showdown. That's not good either. Because I actually think the showdown may get a nerf. But we're trying to optimize things here. So, let's see. Going to use Wonder Worker. You move to decay. This, yeah. The thing that players need to understand is, so if they were to nerf, if they nerfed like Avalanche and Dragoon, then players will just move to decay. There's always going to be an option, because they always. When one gets strong, another gets weak, and then yeah, it just keeps rotating back and forth. So like, I'm not really too worried about that. Weapons wise, this is a bit more balanced. So we have some crumble. We don't have too much. Other weapons do we have? We don't have duplicates. Okay, that's good. Yeah, let's see how we do with this. You need a raptor? You don't need a raptor. Uh-oh. I had to move into towards center because I saw the ultimate griffin there. We have this guy here. He's gonna need. He's gonna. Oh. Just need to tap that guy. Last stand on him. Yeah, I linked to the nether because he's going to need that blinding effect. Man, I was going to say, that guy, why is he not dying? What is that? We're kind of in their spawn already. Uh-oh. 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 No! Shoot. My teammate's gonna need, we might be able to kill him though. Oh, my teammate's there. I actually need to land here. This guy's gonna kill me. Or maybe not. Shy helped. Turning around won't work. Or he busted through your shield. Shy is definitely a lot stronger. Or not Shy, the Nuo with the Shy. We're gonna have a lot of... that's a lot of Maulers. I'm gonna get attacked by multiples here. Shoot, I wasted my... This guy's gonna be a problem. That Arthur's gonna be a problem. Maybe if the luchador jumps over here, if he... I might die to that Arthur. He's behind me somewhere. Yep. Let's try to use this bridge for cover. Dash towards this. Oh, that's gonna be a problem. Now we have 3 Titans and one is Ultimate Arthur. Yeah, slow him down. I'm gonna die though. Ah, it's too many of them. Oh. Oh. Wait, why is this not turning? Shoot, I think I fired into his shield. Ugh. Ah, hey, we got that beacon. Damage does not count when you are playing with Mauler. I think the Nuo is definitely better. But I feel more comfortable playing this this Mauler. It's just the timings are better for me. You got Ravager from the data pads. What should we start with here? We'll go Nemo first. He's going to the bottom. We need someone to go to the bottom. This guy will need some help. These guys are already at the bottom. Oh, we got him. Wait, is this guy on my team or their team? Oh, this is probably a bad idea to be flying here. Get him. Oh! Jesus. Ooh, the blinding. We gotta get that newer up top. That newer's the problem. Okay, last stand on him. Yeah, you always want to go for last stand. He's backing away. There we go. Oh man, come on, no! Ah! Out of my way, quick! Push him off, push him off! Push him off! Come on! Push, 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 push. No! Oh, I'm gonna die. Definitely gonna die. I think there's a guy still under the bridge. Yeah. Okay, we gotta get into our Titan next. Shoot, I couldn't get through his shield. Where's Oh no, I got EMP'd. By this guy, right? Try not to fire. I don't know if you guys notice what I'm doing is, you know that guy that's being annoying? I'm trying not to focus him down, because if I kill all his teammates, he will be the last guy left. So in other words, he's a liability to their team, so I'm trying to see if I can... Yep, there goes the Atlas, bye! So we killed how many of their Titans with just that one? So now, if he's still there, spamming, what's gonna end up happening is he's the only one left. That's why I didn't focus him down, because I want him to stay alive. These weapons are what I use to kill the ultimate Lancelot. These weapons. That Mauler killed like their whole team. It was totally worth it. Ooh, that guy's almost dead. This guy's almost dead. We got a Titan with it. Dude, these weapons are a lot stronger than I think players give credit for. Holy, okay. These weapons we may want to watch. Is he still firing those, Is that the last guy? Is he the one that was firing it at me? Might be. Look how it actually does a lot of damage to Teth too. I noticed these weapons. These are good weapons, I think, as a replacement to the Avalanche. Yeah, the Cestus weapons. No one plays them now, but I don't know. Did they buff them? I don't think they did. That's why I said it doesn't matter if they nerf like Avalanche. Like players, you know, the free players that gets upset. There's always gonna be another weapon. Because everything is like, when everything is rebalanced like that, one weapon, you know, one weapon gets weak, the others get strong. Good thing I left that other guy to keep spamming those things, because I wiped out his whole team. And I don't know if he was the one that dropped in with that Atlas, but he got completely wiped out. My Mauler was right there. Never seen an Atlas die that fast before. He just spawned in, he was dead. No one's using them. Well, you're gonna see more players using them now. Hi, Kometo. Hi, Isaac. It does, I think it does have some splash. Does it say? Yeah, because I remember, like, so I ran these weapons as a test because I was trying to find, like, other suitable weapons for, it might have been for the Bagliore. Either the Bagliore or the Strix. But here's the interesting thing. So I did actually try these on the Strix, but it didn't work as well because the thing with the Bagliore that gives it an advantage is the teleport. Because I found with the Strix I was too slow, and when I got attacked I couldn't escape. So I think it actually suits the Bagliore. This is one of those weapons where it kind of suits the Bagliore more than the Strix. Range 500. You have blast effect. Damages all targets and shields in explosion radius. Does it even say? Blast charge? What's the radius? Doesn't say. I mean, we got a couple kills with it. But you know what? I also noticed these weapons seem to do a lot of damage to Teth. Because it's bypassing their physical shield. Due to the intel changes? Oh, they changed that this morning or something, didn't they? Oh boy. This guy's got diarrhea. So does that mean that if I just boost it, he really has to go? You go first. I was waiting for you to go around the corner. Thank you. Uh-oh. Glitched. He's gonna teleport here. We need actually more of a damage dealer. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Took out a lot of their campers. That was worth it. Yeah, having that shy, I'm telling you, on the Nuo makes a big difference. What the heck is that? Oh. He wanted a Mauler. Let's give him a Mauler. Thing is, when we get to this bridge, 3 players have not dropped in, so I would assume that they're waiting for us to get close to the bridge so they can drop. So I'll let this guy go first. But 2 players have not dropped in. They're gonna drop in at the bridge with a Titan, I think. Right? Or maybe not. Wait, they're not dropping in. They quit? I guess the guy lost his Mauler, so it's like game over. He's not dropping in. I don't want to use my ability. If I use my ability, I might need it. Like, they may drop in a Titan. Yep, like this guy here. Just waiting for his reflector shield to drop. Here we go. Nice knowing you. Nice knowing you. Nice knowing you. He was in charge. They may have another that drops in here, because they stopped dropping in. I have a feeling they have more Titans. How many Titans did we kill? Or maybe they didn't charge it up? I just put the dark line up, just in case. Yeah, he quit. Oh, the guy that lost his Mauler, he quit. I don't think he expected to lose his Mauler that fast. Hi, Edward. Justin. So far, we're... wait, what? What are these guys up to? That's a lot of range. Crisis with... Dude, we took out a lot of their snipers. So yeah, if you're gonna run the Nuo with these weapons, really do recommend running the Shy on there, because oftentimes you will find... So what happens is they can snipe you. If you don't have this, you will get sniped. You go down a lot quicker, I find, not having the... Because what was I running before? The Oppo. Yeah, I just know that when I used to run that drone on the Nuo when it came out, I was dying a lot faster. It worked on the Leo, but on the Nuo, I found that the Shy was stronger. That Mauler seems... The Sonic? My timings are better because I find that the Void kind of messes me up. I know it shouldn't make any difference, but it's just the way that it fires. I actually find that like my firepower, it almost feels like weaker with the Void. Maybe I should use shield breaker on this thing. Oh, whoa, someone has shield breaker. Get rid of their Kaji. They don't have a Kaji now, or a sword unit. Take out their Nuos. I need to reset here. Ah, he got me. Okay, we got him. One player's not dropped in yet. There we go. Yeah, those shitters really help with this build. You wouldn't think, but it helps a lot. Ugh. I was holding it down. There's a lot of players there. Oh, shoot. I might end up going down here. Yeah, I was gonna say, I might end up going down. Wait, what the? Just empty my clip here. I got locked. That's not good. Let's do that. This guy might be able to help me because he lassoed this one. Oh, well, now or never. Game's over here. Yeah. Too many of them. Hi, Shifu. Completely that's the mindset of a free player, but they don't understand that Pixonic knows how important the free players are. Yeah, that was a rough game. The Nuo did really well. But I can already feel like in these games I'm just more comfortable playing this lineup. Pilot should not be able to destroy their first. Well, the reason why I destroy is to get positioning on the map. It's not to deny kills like some players think. If your beacon is being threatened, you always want to make sure that if you have to destroy, you have to destroy to get that beacon. It'll be a mistake not doing that. Ooh. They got all their tanks in the center there. That did. I guess that works too. Thank you. We gotta watch our right flank. There's something here on the right. What is this guy in? What is this guy in? Get stealth? Wait, blinded. He needs help. He needs help, guys. We need to get into... We need our tanks, our brawlers in center here. We need more titans. They're gonna bring their titans in. Yo, stay in center. Is that a titan? They're waiting. We need more titans in center. Out of my way. We gotta watch out for the Besag too. They have something that can really do a lot of damage to me. We just need to hold the center. We'll be fine if we can hold it. But I think their Mauler wants to make a push. Just to get some damage in and get him down to his last stand. Guys, side. There we go. No. You're pushing me in the line of fire. Dude. Oh. Okay, well, I think that's gonna be it. That's it. It's over. Hi, Finn. He drops in his... kind of late for that. Ah. He's dead. We did way too much damage to him. Can't even get out of his spawn. My whiteout. That's why I dropped it. That would mess Quan up, the whiteout on the Samjok. He can't use his ability because it'll EMP. You guys, well, your team wanted to push the center, but I think you just had to commit because they were going forward and then they were kind of hesitating. You can't hesitate. I don't know if it would have worked. It may have possibly worked if the Bjorn and the Mauler and the Besag went at the same time. Would have been a risky move, but I think it would have been worth the payoff. So much difference in... Yeah, I didn't want to overcommit because the thing is, like, if I went onto their side of the ramp, I'm 1 versus 3 Titans, so that's why I was just using it to hold. So when they go up to the ramp and they're about to enter center, then I dash forward because then I have my resistance. I use my dark light, do as much damage, and then use the second dash to fall back. Because I've already done what I need to do. It's just defending. I don't need to push further. Which specialization track? So all of this can be found on my secret revealed for the Mauler. Where I go over like why I'm using this and why I use... Well, I was using the Self-Fix before, but there's... Like I use this because of like... suppression and lockdown, because I find I get locked down, especially I start to get locked down a lot late game. Regulator, I mean, I guess if you have nothing to use, I wouldn't per se use it. I think Hussars are stronger. You know, that kind of has me wondering, because if these weapons work on the Bagliore, does it work on the Nuo too? Because you'd be boosting the damage, right? It might be actually pretty decent. I haven't tried it. Or maybe I should try it. We will just say no one saw that. I saw him jump into the wall. What is that? Okay. Flying low. I don't have enough firepower for this Leo here. We need tanks. A lot going on this side. Rumble. Oh shoot, they got their Titan out already? Oh. Whoa, wait, I just realized we are 5 capped. Game's over. Uh-oh. We need to get a beacon fast. This game's like, look at our beacon bar. I don't even think we're gonna get a chance here. Ugh. Does it remove the DOT? No, it doesn't. You can actually see, I think it says it on there. Let me just check. I know it's, I think it's freeze, suppression, and lock, right? Does it even say here? Oh, here we go. Suppression, freeze, and... yeah, lockdown, suppression, and freeze. But so the thing with the Mauler is the lockdown is a big thing, because if you get locked down and you need to use your dash to stay alive, and you can't because you're locked, your Mauler is done for. That's one of the biggest things. Like, if you're in a Mauler and you can't dash, you are finished, because that's how you absorb that damage. That's how you stay alive. So if you can't dash, then you're dead. Do I have a Discord? I do have a Discord. Oh, Nightbot just posted it in the chat. That's the link. It just won't move. Ahmed already answered your question like twice, and Nightbot has also put a link. I don't know what you want me to say. It's, yeah. Ooh. We've got George on our team. I don't know who George is, but George, go lay those mines. Where is George? Oh, I'm trying to get that guy. Lay those lay those mines, George. That guy's finding out firsthand why these weapons are more deadlier than those boom weapons. This guy's smart, he's going for me, he knows. Always go for the Nuos and the Leos first. I mean, good teamwork, guys, good teamwork. Keep it up. Does that guy have the same setup as me? He might. This guy here in front. He has a last stand. Had a last stand. These guys not dropping in, are they? Oh, dude, that was one shot and the guy already. Oh! Is that a Loki? Yep, that just happened. Oh! Ah, he got me. Oh, that leech is done for. That did it. I need to wait for my dash here. That's a lot of Titan Slayers. Game over. Oh, I was waiting for the reload. The Leech is ignoring me. Probably because he knew he was gonna die. Yeah, when you see like a Mauler with the sonic weapons, and you know they're waiting for a reload and they haven't done the dark light yet, that's when you start praying, because dark light with those sonics, oh man, that hits hard. Teamwork. Yeah, teamwork. Oh wait, someone from Quan's clan was in that game. I didn't realize until you said it in the chat. I totally stole that. Like they're busy fighting and all of a sudden like the guy's gone. It's like, wait, what? I'm the guy that's way back. It's like, it was me. It's like, it was me, guys. Don't worry, I got you. In other words, I just stole their kill. Been fighting the guy for like the last 30 seconds. Okay. Ooh. He's gonna attack my teammate. Wait, he's got a Oh, come on, I can't fly over here. He's gonna get that beacon, that's good. I thought he spelt it wrong. Good thing I got the shy. That guy hit me, but you see I was able to kill him because of that the shy. Whoa, look at... Wait, what the... What was that? Yo, every time I keep flying low. Ooh, there's a lot of stuff here. Inside this bubble. Oh, almost. I need to try to get close because I have the whiteout drone. That way he can't use his ability. That was a plan anyways. I'm gonna have to ditch this. They're starting to bring their Titans out now. There's no one on this side. I kind of blocked him. There we go. Ooh. There's a guy behind me. Shoot. Where's this guy? Got a dash. Well, my teammate want to watch this side. Oh, watch out. Oh, okay, that Ming got him. Whew. I almost thought my teammate was in trouble. I actually almost thought I was a goner. Because I had a Titan in front of me and behind. Vardra and I think you have to decide which one you want. Oh, ooh. I think you have to decide which one you want to play with. I mean, I could try playing with Vajra and Mahavajra and just see. I don't know if I would want to mix it though. I generally don't like mixing the weapons because they kind of mess me up when I'm in a fight. And I just from like past experiences, I find when you mix weapons, they don't hit as hard. You'll end on that one. Actually, we've been streaming for longer than I thought we were going to be streaming. Yeah, so I guess we will end things here. So this is a lot stronger overall. This Samjok still feels on the weaker side, but you know, it really depends on how you play it. Like when you bring it out, like if I'm going to bring this out when there's Titans, it's going to die a lot quicker. So it really depends. But yeah, this newer build's a lot stronger. I find also the Ducks is easier to play than the other one. Arm weapons, yeah, this is weird. So arm weapons can do a lot of damage. Like, don't get me wrong. I just find that they don't fire fast enough. Like, the aiming is kind of weird with it. And I know this because when I tried different weapons on that Raven build, where I was running Hassan Marquise, even though arm weapons will technically do more damage because it's percentage based, I prefer the Hassan the Marquise just because when it fires faster and I'm more likely to hit my target. When I was trying it on the Raven, I was missing my targets more. Could just be like, you know, I'm not used to the build. It could also be that too. But yeah, I think what we have here is a lot stronger. I'm just kind of debating though. So there's a number of ways that you could take your Bagliore. You could go either Cestus, Avalanche. I mean, if you want to get really, you know, gutsy with it, you could also even try Shent. So I'm just reading the chat. The lag is because of hacking the system. Actually, it could be a number of things. Because I used to experience lag even before the game was on Android. This was on iOS side. It could be your connection. It could be your device. You actually might have a really good connection and device, but the thing is also if you're in a game where like the other players are running like old devices and really bad connection, you could also experience lag. Yeah, you have that as well. Also, another thing that can cause lag or like even things like damage not registering. This is actually what I found out in like the first or second test server, like in this game's history. Like this is going way back to iOS. I found out that if I didn't delete the app and install it like fresh when we got an update, sometimes my damage wouldn't register. But I would also experience things like lag, crashes, connection issues. So I would have to, this is when I learned like, okay, whenever we get an update, if you're on iOS or Android, it's best to just delete the app and then reinstall it fresh. And I think it might have something to do with sometimes when you copy like the new files over, it can corrupt things. I'm not sure if that's a thing, but yeah, I remember a while back, like when we got an update, this was like many years ago, like this was when the game was only on iOS. I was wondering why, like, because I was running max level weapons and I would hit like some players, but only half my damage would register. So I ended up having to delete. I think someone told me try deleting the game and reinstalling, and that fixed it. What should you focus on? You have tough guy, survive. I would check out my secrets revealed for the Mauler. I will have stuff there. Like even this, I can probably optimize this further. Because I see here, Maybe I want to look at this skill because that is only 2%. So that can probably be optimized further. I mean, even this one, Ferocious Guardian, I'm sure I can make this stronger. But I would use this as like a guideline. Until you start messing with your Hangar and Titans. Yeah, I think the hacking and all of that just adds to the lag. But there are other things that can cause lag. Cactus, yeah, you can do that in the Discord. If you don't have as much health, then you need to focus on your durability. So like the Cautious, that would be a good one. One is the primary ability now. Is that the... Oh, that's this one. Yeah, you want to focus on durability and resistance. But the Cautious one would be a good one to get. Probably Mechanic as well. Clever Survivor is important. Will the Mauler get another nerf? It's possible. I mean, look how many Maulers we saw in today's live stream. Usually if you see a lot of Maulers like that, especially in like Champion League, then you know that's going to be ripe for a nerf. Although the Mauler has gone through... How many nerfs has the Mauler gone through? 2, right? I think it might be 2. If it's 2, then there's a possibility we might see a 3rd. The Titan or the weapons. I always... Well, it depends what you mean. Like, what level is your Mauler? So if your Mauler is just... Let's just say it's level 60. Then yes, I would focus on the weapons and max it out. 2 nerfs? Yeah, so there's a possibility we will see another one. Usually it happens in rounds of 2 or 3. We already got the second one, so... And we still see quite a few Maulers out there, so I could see a possible nerf for it. If it's 3 nerfs, then maybe not. Although we still see a lot though. That's the thing. That would put it in the dirt. That's the reason why I still rather, like when it comes to upgrading Titans, I would still rather just do the Indra. Do the Indra as your backup kind of thing, or your base. Once you get that maxed out, then you can go do Mauler or whatever Titan. Because at least you have a backup, like a solid backup. You've been waiting for it to be nerfed. Well, I guess it pays to be patient. Focusing on upgrading the weapons. Yeah. So if your Mauler is level 72, then I would probably start maxing out the weapons, because that's how you do your damage, and that way you can take advantage of the Dark Light. Which one of this? Dark Light. Wait, so when you use your Dark Light, does it matter what level your Mauler is? Like, is it the same? Because when it amplifies that damage, if it's the same, then, and your Mauler is like level, what did you say? Level 72, then I would definitely max out the weapons. That way you can take advantage of it. Anguisher and Ruiner. These weapons are actually far more deadlier than the Anguish and Ruiner now. Yeah, if you have, you should have, how many did we get with the Stellar Sirius? I think it was 3, right? You should have 2 Evoras from like they gave it away during the one event with the Stellar Sirius. So you should have these, that you can level it up. Hi Norman. but the DOT is important. Yeah, so maybe I mean, this helps, but I would say hull and core is where you need to focus first. Because this is where you get your defense points and your durability. Yeah, these two. So I would level them up equally, but it's really important to get your weapons maxed out. Because you got to remember, when you're going up against other players that have maxed out like Maulers and Bjorns and stuff, they're probably going to have maxed out weapons. And in order to maximize your damage against them, you need your weapons leveled. The self-fix helps in charging it, yes, but again, sometimes I get locked down and stuff. I still prefer having, and even just suppression. There's so much stuff going on. But if you find that you are dying a lot because maybe your maul is not leveled up, then I would look at using self-fix. It's difficult to choose since they removed the modules. I actually find that the system that they have now is more friendlier to free-to-play players. Because if you look at the way that they've done specializations compared to the module system we had before, especially my baby account, you notice my specialization track for all my bots, they're all maxed, I think. It's a lot easier because before I would have to get the module, and that's assuming that I want it from the black market. Then I have to level it up, but it wasn't just that. I had to have the right combo, so I would have to max out 6 levels, I think, for each module. Now I don't need to do that because it's a set of modules for your build, and then you can just choose it and max it out. So it's actually friendlier for free-to-play players. I think before it was worse. It was also more complicated. Is the Dux worth it? I would say it still has its advantages. You can still use it. There are times where it actually helps a lot. Usually, so there was one game. I mean, you may not have seen it as much, but the one game on Castle, I believe it was an Ultimate Fenrir up top. The Dux can actually shred through it. It helps having. So I would use either the Kestrel or I would use the Webby. So that would be this one here. I think either one works. The Kestrel helps because it can heal you when you go into stealth, but you have to have the pilot for it. Just remember that. PvE, no, I haven't done it, and I know players were complaining because of the platinum. Yep. But apparently it was a mistake. Well, that's what we think it was, but it's back again. Yeah, there was so much going on, and players are saying how it ended up being. Well, I don't know if it's a mistake. I don't know what's going on. And maybe I was joking. I was saying in their chat, maybe I should do it because maybe that's a mistake of a mistake. When you want to switch Titan, then the module currency is tough. Yeah, well, I don't know. I just remember before it was a lot worse. Because I know my Indra, for example, the module or the specializations all maxed out. But even my bots on my baby account, I never had. Remember, I was running level 1. That's the other thing too. I only had because my bots were low level. I only had access to one module. Remember, and I would run one repair amp, but it would be level 1. And then they switched to a specialization track, and I got all the tracks. I got all of them, and I just maxed it out, and that's it. So my hangar got like significantly stronger because of it. But it's also easier, I think, for new players. Like if you were a new player and you picked up this game, let's just say we didn't have the specialization thing before. We had the module system. You wouldn't know what modules to put on your bot. And it makes a big difference. You know, back then, it's like, did you run 2 repair amps with a nuclear amp? Did you have a last stand? You know, a new player wouldn't know that. Now they have no choice because it's whatever the game shows them. But this is a lot easier. It's more friendlier. So I think that was a move in the right direction. And just overall balance-wise, I think it was a lot better. Because there were too many variables with what we had before. I mean, you got to think, like players, you know, most of the time, if you had a weak bot, you could just put 2 repair amps with a nuclear amp on it. And all of a sudden, your glass cannon becomes a tank. Nania, you know what? Actually, it's funny that you mentioned Nania. I think I would rather prefer to run those weapons on the ducks than the arm weapons. I know the arm weapons do a lot of damage, but I think it just sinks better. So that might be another option. You could run this. You could totally run this. Like I think it would work a lot better than the arm weapons. I'm not saying that the arm weapons are bad. It's just like it's easier to play like these weapons, I think, or like atomizers on here. For yourself, you switch bots more often before. You will switch more often because, well, before you could just move your modules. Now it's kind of like attached to your bot, right? Because you only have specific. But that is assuming that you had the modules and you had it leveled up. So for a free play, if you didn't have that, it would be a struggle to get those modules. I still think the system we have now is a lot better. 25 million upgrade. No, it wasn't 25. It was, well, that's with the discount. It wasn't it like 40 million? I think it was 40 million per level, if I remember correctly, right? So you must be referring to like 40, I don't know, 40% off or whatever. But I remember, I think it was 40 million per level. So you would have to get like repair amp. Then you would have to level it up 40 million each time for each level. That's just one module. It was way more. It was way more expensive, I think. Mind you, it's not like we get a lot. Well, I mean, this is a BR account, but I'm just saying it's not like we get a lot of currency for this. But still, I would rather have this system than the other system we had before. Cautious pilot. So one of those, I was told that actually you don't want to use, which one was it? Tough guy? You don't want to use, I think it's tough guy. Because that one, your weapon damage is lowered. I think it's tough. Yeah, by 3%. So you want to use cautious pilot, but don't use tough guy. Because that your weapon damage will be lowered by a lot. I think it's like, I don't know what it is, 10% or something. So you don't need Roadhog because you're dashing anyways. Mechanic would be a good one. I wonder if I should try the Survivor. Although the one skill that I have here, the heavyweight, this does do more damage to Titans. I know it's only 2% though. Maybe I need this one. That might be a good one. Because oftentimes, like, my Mauler is able to survive. You know what? This Berserker one might be really good on... I might want to actually try that out. I'll have to try that out another time. But you know what? I'm going to do that right now, just so I don't forget. That might be worth it. You also played your first 2 levels of extermination. Will you get... I don't think... Well, I don't know what's going to happen. We were actually asking Pixonic about that. What about the players that have already done extermination? They're not going to be very happy because I think you guys got, I think, additional gold and power cells or something. I think they had gold or power cells, but then they reverted it back. So now players are like, but I want my platinum, because that's what they're going for. Yeah, I'm not sure. I can't answer that question because I'm not Pixonic. I don't work for them and whatever. I don't know. This is something they have to address. What does the third ability do? Hold on. Removes a portion of the stacks on the Titan. I have no idea what that is. What is the hook ability? This one? No, that's dark light. Oh, so I think what it does is if it's removing the stacks, then you're not taking as much damage. I think that's what they mean by that. Goober. There's others in the chat that are saying, I hope they don't nerf the Mauler. Goober enters the chat. I hope Mauler gets nerfed. That's funny. Invulnerable Raider will only activate when you get a beacon though. But it can be handy. I know oftentimes, this was what I used to do before. Because I'm a very aggressive player, I'm usually going for beacons, or there's going to be cases where the enemy might have 3 beacons on me. That's why I would run Invulnerable Raider and Adamant Guardian. That way, when I'm in a game, one of those is going to get triggered. If I get a beacon, then Invulnerable Raider gets triggered. If we're down on beacons, then Adamant Guardian gets triggered. So it's always back and forth. And sometimes there may be even a case where you know, both of them will be active because I might be down on beacons. You know, we might be 5 capped or whatever. So my Adamant Guardian will pick in, then I get a beacon. Invulnerable Raider kicks in, so now I have both active. That helps to strengthen. Well, in that case, it was my bot. So many in champs use it. Well, that's why I was saying there's a possibility they can get nerfed. Even though it got nerfed 2 or 3 times, it could still get nerfed again. Because if you look at today's live stream, some games I was dealing with like 2 Maulers at the same time. I mean, we had a lot of Maulers. I think out of all the Titans, we didn't really see that many Atlas. I mean, we saw them. But I would say it was a lot of Maulers. More Maulers, right? The Favnia, which weapons? Regulator, Nania, Hussar. Hussar will be the strongest. And I know you mentioned that you don't want to waste resources. So there's one downside with the Hussar right now. It's actually doing a lot of damage. And usually when a weapon's doing a lot of damage means that it's not balanced. And if it's not balanced, that means it's going to get balanced. So take that how you will. You know, if I was building a Favnia, then I would probably still lean towards the Hussar. Oh wait, do you mean Hazard? Because you have Hazard. Is that Hazard or do you mean Hussar? On the Avalon mothership. I'll show you what I have on my Avalon. Hold on. This is what I have. The Hasab. Yeah, I wasn't sure how, because that person was kind of spelling it almost like they forgot the D, so it could have been Hazard. I'm not sure which one is stronger between those three then. If it's Hazard, Nania, and Regulate, I would have to play them. But I know Hussar right now is doing a lot of damage, and I can see it getting nerfed. I mean, I'm not... The thing is that players think that I'm telling Pixonic. I don't need to tell them. They can see it from their numbers. I mean, it's like blatantly obvious. You know, when they do... So let's just say this is what they will do. Just an example. They want to know which of these weapons are not balanced. What they'll do is they'll run a diagnostics or whatever. They do the analytics. Okay, so they'll run the analytics. They'll say, okay, so how many Champion League players are running Nania? What is the damage? Not just Champion, Master, Expert, Silver, Gold. You know, they'll go through all the leagues and they'll look at the damage numbers and what players are running on their bots, weapons-wise. And then they'll do it for the Ganjil. They'll do it for the Dragoon, the Hussar. And it will become very evident from those numbers. They don't need my help. They can see it all on their end. It will become very evident, you know, that weapon, you know, whatever it is, Hussar, is too powerful. You know how they know? It's because players naturally... I know players say that they want a balanced game, but just, you know, it's human nature. When it comes to especially gaming, players will always gravitate towards power. I know they say they wanted balance, but they will always... If you go onto a test server, what are you more likely to see? Players will find the most powerful build, and they will run multiples in their hangar. And that's how Pixonic knows that players, they use those guys on the test server to validate, their like purchasing behavior or whatever. Even though they're free players, they've already shown them what they need to look for in order to like monetize. Does that make sense? And it's not just Pixonic. I mean, we could even get a third party that doesn't even know anything about this game. They would do the same analysis. I mean, if you ask me to analyze, I don't know, we could do Mech Warrior or whatever, or Mech Arena, and you ask me which weapons are the most powerful, I would be like, okay, well, let me analyze your weapons. I want to see how much damage does each weapon do in each league. Eventually, you will start to see a trend. So if they're all leaning towards one weapon, I know that weapon is the strongest. It doesn't take a genius to figure it out. Not Mech Arena. I don't even play Mech Arena, but I'm just saying I could use any. It doesn't really matter. We could play StarCraft. And you could ask me like which race in StarCraft 2 is the strongest. I would look at like all the tournaments, and we could look at the winners. You know, if they're all leaning towards Zerg or whatever, then like the Zerg race, then I know that race is probably strongest, because you can see there's a trend. They're not running, Champion League players are not running the Hussar. Look at the setups. They can, yeah, but the thing is, are you basing it just on Legend League? Because they're doing it collectively. They can see the numbers. When you go through the stats, then you can see the numbers. So my previous job, they used to do something very similar. It had nothing to do with gaming though. But the marketing department would actually, it's hard to explain this without you actually seeing. So we used to send out like these e-newsletters, and they could actually see on the back end where the viewers were actually clicking on that, like which area of the newsletter they were clicking on. And what they would do is then we would design the newsletter, basically tailoring it so that like the tournaments or the deals were in the areas that they were clicking the most. Like we could actually see like the first third of the newsletter, like the top portion was being read the most, because when they open it up, that's what they see. So the deals and all of that would be put on the top part. So we start analyzing. The viewers can't see it, right? The customers couldn't see it, but we could see it on our end. That's what I'm referring to. Pixonic can see all of these things on the back end. They don't need the players to tell them, because their numbers will be more accurate. They can see it across the board, and they can actually most likely break it down to each league. They could break it down to each league, and they could say, well, in Bronze League, this is what most of the players are running. And then like in Silver League, Gold League, Expert League, they can just go up and they can see. Um, 200 defense points for two what? Usually it's, I know for robots, I think it's 30 seconds. Yeah, it depends on like what I'm running it on, but I believe on robots, I think it's 30 seconds. Yeah, 30 seconds in this case. This one will always be active, but this one, when I get a beacon, then it'll be 30 seconds. Numbers don't mean anything. It's what is popular. But this is where you're actually wrong. Why do you think players are running it? Like so here's the thing. So if I gave you a set of weapons in your inventory, what are you going to gravitate towards, right? So if let's just say for example, trying to think like, let's just say we all got given a Nuo, right? And then in our inventory, we had all the weapons. So you're telling me that if all the players gravitate towards, like, let's just say the Hussars, it could be the ultimate, right? That it's just because it's more popular. I don't think so. Players by design, they will always gravitate to whatever does the most damage. And if it does the most damage, that right there is an indicator of it not being balanced. They will always do that. That's why if you go to like Legend League, so if we were to go to Legend League and we were to look at like their hangars. Okay, so they've got like the boom weapons, they've got the arm weapons. Let's see what this one has. You'll start to see a trend. You got those weapons. They're all running, I noticed, Piercer. Do you think it's because it's more popular? I don't think so. Because at this level, when it's competitive, they will all start to use, you notice, like arm weapons. Right? You start to see a trend, and it's not because it's more popular. It's because it does the most amount of damage. That's why they're using it. Legend League runs mostly ultimates. Why do you think that is? Do you think it's because it's popular, or do you think it's because it does the most amount of damage? Like even when you look at their Titan, actually their Titan's probably more evident. So you know how like we got the Void and the Chasm, right? We got those weapons, the latest, the newest. So I don't know if you notice. But you see they got like Arbiter here. What does this one have? Okay, this one's got Striker. You're going to start to notice a trend. Okay, so they got the Void and Chasm. Wait, did I click on this one already? Oh, see, look, Arbiter. arbiter. Let's go down. Here's one of these. They got strikers, so we're starting to see like quite a few strikers, arbiters as well. There we go, more arbiters. You start to see a trend. Do you think it's because they're using it because it's more popular? I don't think so. Once again, they're using it. They're using it because it does a lot of damage. That is the reason why. When you play the competitive level, you always go for more damage. Yeah, so Void Chasm, I saw quite a couple of strikers. Arbiters are really high up there. Look at the other hangars. Well, I'm just looking at those hangars specifically, but you'll see it. Like it's very evident. And they're not choosing those weapons because it's popular. They're doing it because it does a lot of damage. That's a lot of sword units. They got like a theme going on with the steel tip. I mean, you will even start to notice like certain ultimate robots are being run and certain weapons, right? Like I'm seeing like some ultimate ions here, but definitely hussars. Yeah, usually it's the main hangar that you want to look at. Although it's kind of hard now because, you know, players are switching back and forth between. But you can see. So for example, you know, the Deshit and the Hedget. I mean, to tell me they're running it because it's popular, I don't buy that. They're running it because it does a lot of damage. Let's just jump to the chase here. That's why they're running it. That's why I would run it. Don't upgrade Arbiter for now. No, I do think those weapons are going to get nerfed because the thing is, you can kill so many things with that. You got to remember, you can kill like Atlas, you can kill Ultimate Arthur. I mean, you could just melt through Ultimate Arthur. Like, I've seen Ultimate Arthurs go down really fast, and I've also been an Ultimate Arthur that got hit by those weapons. You just see your health drop, and there's nothing you can do about it either. Like, if you're running close range, you're not even going to get close enough to do your damage. Because they're doing damage from across the map. You're finished. There are things that are powerful that nobody knows about. Yes. There will always be those things because players don't run it. But what I'm telling you is that the strong players will always know because they go through all their weapons. To tell me that they don't do that and they just run it because it's popular, I don't buy that. You run the dash hit because it can trigger. Also, with those weapons, the dash hit, it's very good counter to the Kaji. Once you get within range, you teleport and you just use those weapons, you can kill a Kaji very, very easily. I know because when I ran the Kaji, that weapon was probably the most. I think out of all the weapons, that weapon killed me the most. And know what works and doesn't work. Yeah, exactly. What works and what doesn't work. So what will work are the ones that does a lot, like it does a lot of damage. And then when they go into a game and they kill other players, like top players, those top players will then look at their hangar to see what they're running, and then they will build that, and then they run that. Why are they running that? Because it does a lot of damage, not because it's more popular. And then they go into their games and they kill other players using the same setup. And what do those players do? Well, they look at their hangar and they'll be like, okay, let me build that too. And before you know it, you then see multiple players running the same setups or very similar setups. And why are they using it? Not because it's popular. It's because it does a lot of damage. That's why they're using it. If you tell me that's not the reason why, then I don't think you're being honest with yourself. That's not how it goes when you play at the top. It's all about doing a lot of damage. That's just how it is. Okay, so anyways, guys, sorry for the rambling here and the going off topic. What's your 6? Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed the gameplay of your Dream Hangar. Also, thank you for participating. So there is a prize, as with all Dream Hangars. Your prize being that we don't actually have a giveaway running right now on my channel. So I can't give you any prize yet, but I will lock you in for the next giveaway that I do. So if the next giveaway is the Rex, the new Rex robot, that is going to be your prize. So congrats. I will lock you in for that. For the ones who are kind of curious, how do you enter Dream Hangars? So once the stream is done, post your Dream Hangar in the comment section. It could be actually use let me just go back here. Use Watch Your 6 as I guess a template. Okay, so make sure that you also put your pilot ID in your platform. 5 different robots, different builds. It could be something you're building towards. It could also be a theme. So you could do that as well. And who knows, maybe you might get chosen for the next episode of Dream Hangars. So that's how you enter. You know what? Honestly, I don't know why more players, especially the free players, why they don't enter. Because like you lock yourself into a prize. Like your odds of winning skyrockets. Just to let you guys know, it will skyrocket through Dream Hangars than having to compete with 1,000 plus other players when you do the giveaways. So I'm just trying to trying to help you guys out. Have I seen Rex? I have posted I posted a video on my channel a while back when it was on the test server. So yep. Okay, so before you get going, thank you very much to Dark Warrior, Lone, Dominic Kine, Dies, Peter Cold, and Alex for helping to moderate today's live stream. Much appreciated. If they have YouTube channels, make sure to check them out. Also, thank you to you guys and also to Watcher 6 for participating. Really do appreciate it. Also, yeah, if this is the first time you happen to drop on my YouTube channel, I hope you enjoyed today's live stream. Rex is Mauler's son. Well, one of their sons, because we also have the Ocho. Basically, Ocho 2.0 with a built-in weapon. Wait, what? Okay, anyways, guys, that is going to be it. Yeah, if this is the first time you happen to drop by my channel, hope you enjoyed the stream. If you did, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And until the next live stream, which is going to be tomorrow, I will catch you guys later. Cheers, guys.